The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
And hello, everybody. Happy New Year. We are officially in 2024. Can you believe it? I don't know. Another year come and went, and the earth went around the sun one more time. And here we are in another year of 2024. It's amazing. We have a great year in 2023. We put on our social media account on YSN over 12 million views. That upped our account from last year in 2022 to up 4 million. 4 million views from one year to the next. So if anyone tries to tell you that YSN is, not growing, or they've reached a plateau, or whatever you want to say about YSN, it's not true. We keep going up. We keep going up. And we are going to keep rising through 2024. We can't wait to bring you a full year of great coverage, great player profiles, great coaches' corners, great games, and all that fun stuff. We had a great 2023, and this is officially the first, I guess you could say, company day of 2024. There were no games last night. Nothing really happened. So here we are, January 2nd, 2024, and it's the first day of the new year on YSN. As far as sports are concerned, a little bit of a small schedule today. I think some teams, giving themselves a little bit of an extra couple days after the New Year break, but we still have games on the network tonight, a full slate the rest of the week as well. So what a great year we're planning to have. We have a lot of great things in store. Can't wait to share them for you. As far as this show goes, we have a great thing in store. We're going to recap a bunch of the action that went down while we were gone. Remember, our last show was Wednesday because I was at the Holiday Hoops Classic at South Range Thursday and Friday. We'll recap that. We'll recap everything that happened on those days. We had a couple of really good games over the weekend as well. So we're going to treat this like a Monday. We're going to recap everything that happened since the last time we were here. And then obviously we have the second half of the show. We have a player profile to share with you guys. It's going to be one from Howland Girls Basketball, Gia Hoso. Can't wait to share that one because one of the great players in that great conference, and the AAC play is starting this week. So no better way to get ready for AAC play than to hear from one of the great players in the AAC, of course, in Gia Hoso. So we're going to have that player profile. We have more Howland profiles the rest of the week. We have Mia Barsh that we're still going to share with you guys later on in the week as well. So, man, do we have people ready for you, and we have more AAC player profiles because Grace McQuiston will be played on the show this week as well. So, going to have a lot of fun stuff for you as this week goes on. But without further ado, let's hop into the scoreboard. Let's see what was going on over the last couple of days. The scoreboard, as always, brought to you by Burnett Pool Spas and Hot Tubs. And this is a great tool for our fans, whether they're at one of the games or maybe they're watching one of our broadcasts. Either way, you don't want to look away for too long. And this YSN scoreboard is a great way for you guys to get live updated scores on all the action. We have a great team behind the scenes every night that is making sure the scoreboard is as live updated as possible. So if you're watching one of the games and you want to check in on your friends or your rivals or anything else, head over to ysnlive.com/scores and get live updated scores. Once again, presented by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. We start with the game one, first game of the day at the South Range Holiday Hoops Classic. All Boardman in this one, 64-14. We're just going to go left to right here. West Branch did fall to Olmsted Falls. This was their first loss of the season, 42-21. Turnovers were an issue for West Branch. 21 turnovers in this game. That's just too many for an offense to have. So West Branch, they were 9-0, and now they're dealing with a little bit of adversity, as we'll talk about a little bit later on in the show as well. Their adversity continued. Garrettsville Garfield, they fall to Austintown Fitch as the Falcons fly high in the Holiday Hoops Classic, 61-8-16, the final score there. We move on to the third game at South Range, third game of the day that went down. Springfield came in feeling good, but Mooney makes them not feel so good as Cardinal Mooney gets the big win over Springfield. This was an upset. No other way to put it. One win Mooney up to that point, beating Springfield 44-36. And Sophia Diorio had a huge game for the Cardinals. In the next game, this one was a really good one. Louisville gets the best of Howell in a last-second layup by Alexis Wasera, gives them the 45-43 win. That was the first loss of the year for Archbishop Hoban. Mohawk, outside of the South Range Holiday Hoops Classic, beat Alderich 76-61. Final score there. Lakeview falls to Newton Falls, 44-26. Final score, we had some games go down in Ashtabula County. On Thursday, Edgewood, they win over Ashtabula St. John, a big one, 80-32. Final score there. We saw Crestview beat Champion. This was a game for first place in the MVAC Gray Tier. Crestview able to hold off that Champion offense, 45-37. Bella Meyer from Champion did get 1,000 career points in this game. She needed 15. She finished with 20. Mineral Ridge takes care of Latonia, 53-6. We saw Wellsville fall to Edison, 61-51. The final score there. Beaver Local, they fall to Martins Ferry, 58-24. We saw Niles. They were able to get a win over Maplewood, a close one for the Dragons, 50-48, the final score. Jackson Milton falls to Cardinal, by 3, 48-45. Tough one for the Blue Jays to handle there. Holland was able to get the best of Hathaway Brown, 57-43 at the South Range Holiday Hoops Classic. And then to close out the night at South Range, we also saw Ursuline beat South Range 53-28. There were a couple of non-YSN games at that Holiday Hoops Classic. There were 16 games total in 2 days. 16 games. That was the biggest Holiday Hoops Classic they'd had so far. Last year was 13. This year they upped it to 16. And I'm pretty sure that's as much as they can get unless they extend it to another day, because they went from 10 a.m. to basically 10 at night for those games. So I feel like South Range has crammed as much as they possibly can in the 2 days this year. So we'll see if they try to one-up themselves next year. It was a very successful tournament. We had a bunch of people there, bunch of different programs. I know they had a bunch of programs that were turned away because there was just no more room. Maybe they go to 3 days. Maybe they don't. Maybe they stay with 16 games. But the future of that Holiday Hoops tournament is looking better and better every year, because this year not only were there good teams there, but I think probably for the first time in recent memory, there were a lot of really good games too. I mean, they put on a show, these teams did. And after really these first 2 games of the day on game one, where Boardman and Fitch both blew out their opponents, everything else was pretty dang competitive basketball the rest of the way. So that's only good for future programs wanting to come be a part of those games. So I think it's on the rise, and I can't wait for the future of the Holiday Hoops Classic. We'll talk about day 2 in a minute, but first, boys action on Thursday, Columbiana versus Crestview. That was one that a lot of people in those communities have been waiting for. They're finally being able to square up against each other. But maybe Crestview wanted to rethink it. They get beat up 73-39. Final score there, Columbiana gets the win. McDonald and Heartland Christian get together. Heartland gets the win. This was day one of the Heartland Hoops tournament down there. There's 4 teams at Heartland. 76-67. Heartland gets the win there. Canfield wins the Battle of 224. That one, 58-47, the final score there. Hoban boys, they were matched up against Trinity. They won 62-47. They're on the rise after a tough start. You see Hoban starting to clock together a couple of wins in a row. Hudson beats Howland 56-52. And then Youngstown East beats Cornerstone Christian 92-62. That East basketball team keeps proving that they're not a fluke. I'll tell you that much. So you got to watch out for their offense. 92 points. I don't care who you're playing. That's hard to accomplish. We go on to Friday. This was a huge day. A lot of boys games, a lot of girls games. Let's get to it. On the boys side first, Mooney was able to go and play at Central Valley, and Mohawk. I don't know why I said Mooney. It's a big M. Mohawk was playing Central Valley. One of the more competitive games in the network, but it does not go Mohawk's way. 52-50. Final score there. McDonald was able to get the win over Crestview to bounce back from their loss in day one of the Heartland tournament. 57-47, the final score there. And then Heartland wins the tournament with a win over Columbiana, 70-61. So congratulations to the host Lions getting that big win. I know they feel good about that going forward. We'll scroll over to Ashtabula St. John playing Matthews. Matthews gets the win there, but only by 10. That's a very good Matthews team for Division 4. And St. John put up a heck of a fight, but they do fall by 10. Camo Memorial gets the best of Lowville, 61-38, the final score there. Springfield beats East Palestine, 82-43. Conneaut falls to Grand Valley, 83-57. Champion gets the edge win over Wyndham, 59-54, final score there. Hubbard gets the win over Western Reserve, 45-41. Warren JFK, they looked good against Boardman, 57-52. That's a tough place to play. It's a tough defense to play. And Warren JFK, maybe below their average, but enough offense to get the job done and get a win in a very tough environment down there in Spartyville. Niles, they fall to Edgewood in the boys basketball world, 59-47. Sebring falls to Ramir Road Baptist Christian, 69-33. We have Newton Falls and Lakeview. We saw their girls play on Thursday. Their boys played on Friday, and it was Newton Falls getting the season sweep of the Bulldogs, 50-24. That's a big win for Newton Falls because Lakeview had been playing so well, and holding that team to 24 points. That's impressive for Newton Falls. Badger beats Girard 48-41. We have Middle Ridge beating Latonia 68-48, the final score there. Middle Ridge having a resurgent year for the program, and one that they had to deal with a lot of injuries. They don't have the guys they expected to have, but I've seen them a couple times live already, and they play extremely hard. They're hard to beat because of it, and they get another win over the scrappy Latonia team by 10, 58-48. We saw Caney boys basketball. They fell to North Canton Hoover 59-44 on the road. Cardinal Mooney was able to beat NDCL at home 56-50. And then Harrison Central, they beat Beaver Local 62-54. Girls basketball on Friday. The Holiday Hoops Classic continued at South Range. Garfield and Struthers played a heck of a game, but Struthers able to come out on top. The hero in that game was Natalie Adams, the steal and fast break bucket to give them the lead and to secure it 33-32. Struthers gets the win. Boardman had to deal with a heck of a defensive Hilliard-Davidson team. Hilliard played 2 games at South Range, and some of the best defense I've seen all year, played by the Wildcats of Hilliard-Davidson. Coach Hamilton was trying a little bit of everything in this game. to try to just figure out this defense, try to crack them a little bit, get through their walls. Nothing was really working. The only thing that was working is, well, Mackenzie Riccatelli is the type of player that can just go off on you, and she scored 22. It's a good thing she did because Boardman needed every bit of it. She ties Hilliard Davidson herself. Boardman gets to win 29-22 over Hilliard Davidson. Mass and Washington went 2-0 in the Holiday Hoops Classic. The win over Hilliard Davidson in day one on a free throw, walk-off free throw, and then they're able to beat Cardinal Mooney by the final score of 57-48. So good job by the Tigers. They had a good showing there. Louisville and Howland get together. Remember Louisville coming off that big win on the day before with the first loss to Hoban, but they could not handle the Tigers. Tigers defense locks down and they win 47-28, the final score in that one. We've seen a couple of times against Ysn teams where Louisville's offense runs into some problems, and in that one they did as well. Mohawk girls, they fall to Wilmington 66-59, final score there. Archbishop Hoban gets their win in the Holiday Hoops Classic 54-25 over Hathaway Brown. A really good game going on between Fitch and Green as Fitch gets the win 46-42. Fitch had to deal with one of the best players in the whole tournament in Jenna Slates, who averages 23 a game for Green. Tried to keep her in check a little bit, and they were able to do that enough for the 46-42 victory. Western Reserve girls beat Hubbard 46-37, the final score in that one. We have Steubenville being able to beat East Liverpool 51-40, the final score there. Ursuline in the Holiday Hoops Classic gets the win over St. Joe's. Lily Scott took this game over, scored 16 points, and most of them came in the second half. And she had a great performance for the Irish. South Range ends the Holiday Hoops Classic with a win over their arch rival, the Springfield Tigers. Makes Springfield have a tournament they do not want to remember. They lose 2 games in South Range, and they have to get back to MVAC Scarlet Tier play, where the Tigers are still undefeated. And you got to remember that. They still have a lot of things in front of them, but not a good classic for the Tigers, losing 2 close games to Mooney and South Range, 2 teams that had a combined 3 wins coming into the tournament. So don't want to make that reflect how good those teams are, but probably games that Springfield came into the week, thinking that they were going to win, and that did not happen. So we'll have to see how Springfield responds to some mid-season adversity. Like I said, everything's still in front of them. They're still undefeated in the Scarlet Tier. They're in Division 4. They're going to be a top, seed in Division 4. So I think they're just going to have to respond to this. This week can either hurt or help them, depending on how they react. It's the only thing that's going to affect it. The only thing that'll make this game bad for them, or these 2 games bad, is them, right? How they react to it. So we're going to have to see how Springfield responds in the rest of their schedule and see if they can bounce back from a tough week in the South Range. Let's go to Saturday. Had some really fun games happen on this New Year's. Well, I shouldn't say New Year's Eve. It was December 30th, but last games of 2023 on the YSN network. We'll start with girls basketball. Niles fell to Cheney 54-37, the final score there. We saw Ashtabula St. John. They fell to Cardinal 46-35. Wellsville gets the win over Malvern 48-39, the final score there. Lowville and Newton Falls played a heck of a game. Lowville able to hold on to get the win. Final score there 42-41. As the Rockets hold off a 20-8 fourth quarter by the Tigers and hold on for dear life to get the win 42-41. Conneaut and Gerard Piet, no score reported in that one. Canfield wins on a almost buzzer beater. 1 second left as Grace McQuiston hits a 3 after Sophie Gregory gives West Branch a late lead with a bucket plus the foul. 34-33 was West Branch's lead. Canfield goes down, hits the 3 to win it. 36-34, the final score. Canfield gets the victory and continues West Branch's little skid. They're on a 2-game losing streak after starting the season 9-0. But with West Branch's schedule and the way they put it together this year, I don't think Walter Shields had any illusions of going undefeated in it. I think he knew there was going to be a bumpy road. He knew there was going to be a couple of games where they didn't play their greatest. But I think what he has to be happy about is in both those losses, defense was still there. 41 points for Olmsted Falls and 36 points for Canfield. Defense is still playing well. That won't change, and that'll keep them in games. The offense just has to start clicking a little bit. I honestly think the loss of Carter Shepard, who, we don't know how long she's going to be out, but she was definitely out for the Olmsted Falls game. She was out for the Canfield game. We saw her leave East Liverpool early in that game with an injury. She brings, that middle range, the offense toughness, gets in the high post, can shoot. I think their offense is missing her a little bit more than maybe some people on the outside thought they would. So offense is struggling a little bit for West Branch. Defense is still there. So don't panic for West Branch country. They still have everything in front of them. Like I said, going to be some bumps in the road with the schedule they put together. Champion got the win over Brookfield, 41-21. Final score in that one. We'll go to boys basketball on Saturday, and we'll start with Edison. They fell to Philo, 64-41, the final score there. LeBray beats Crestwood 68-58, final score. Cardinal Mooney beats Valley Christian 75-45. Rocco Turner becomes the career 3-point record holder for Cardinal Mooney. He has now hit more threes than anybody in that program. Congratulations to him and Mooney on a big win over Valley Christian. Howland was able to beat Struthers 63-19. Final score in that one. We have Hoban getting another win against Centerville from near Columbus, Ohio, 60-56. Final score there. East Liverpool beats Coshocton 67-55. Lakeview able to handle champion 66-32. Let's see. South Range beat Fitch, another one possession win for the South Range boys. No shocker there, 63-61. Landon Moore goes off for 34 points for South Range. A big performance from him. Ursuline gets the win over Lake Center Christian, 81-41, the final score there. Liberty beats Akron North by 3, 62-59, the final score in that one. And then in overtime, Canfield beats West Branch as part of that boys-girls doubleheader, and they win 59-53 in overtime to continue their winning streak. It's now up to 7-game winning streak for Canfield, and they will go on to play Boardman in their AAC opener tonight. So we'll see if the Cardinals can keep up that win streak. That'll do it for your scoreboard from Burnett Pool Spas and Hot Tubs. We went over every score that went down from the last time we were on to now. What great basketball we had to conclude the 2023 year. And now we go into 2024. Before we do that, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We have a player profile to play from Gia Hoso from Howland. And then we will preview tonight's matchups on Running Point. Brought to you, as always, by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Hi, this is Zell Bush.
Hi, this is Tom Clint. Hi, this is Steve Rossetto.
Hi, this is Ryan Miller.
Hi, this is Rich Sakui from WRS Wealth Advisors.
With our combined 80 years of experience,
WRS Wealth Advisors are the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services.
Or visit WRSwealth.com.
Go Raiders.
Go Dogs.
Go Cats. Go Dogs. Go Tigers.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
We believe expectations are made to be exceeded. At the new Toyota of Warren, it's about more than just getting a great deal. It's about service you can count on and a friendship you can trust. Year after year, we've done what we do best. We've gone the extra mile so you could too. Because we know it's just not about buying a new car. It's the start of a new adventure. Toyota of Warren, driven by you.
Nestled here in the beauty and splendor of Mill Creek Metro Parks are two of America's best golf courses, as selected by Golf Week magazine. Ranked number 9 in Ohio by TripAdvisor. Come play like a pro on these award-winning Donald Ross-designed courses. Enjoy a round with your kids and unwind with your favorite food and drinks in the grill room. For championship golf, look no further than your backyard. Mill Creek Golf Course.
Welcome back to Running Point on YSN. Before we get to Gia Hosa's player profile, I do want to share the comment in the comment section from Ty Bartel when I was talking about the Holiday Hoops Classic. Ty Bartel, who was on the call with me for almost every game, he actually left to go call the Champion Crestview game like a trooper on Thursday. So he missed about 3 games of the Holiday Hoops Classic. But he says he'd go down for a third day of the Classic. I think everyone would. But I will say that there was a comment from somebody, I'm not going to name it, that said maybe that me and Ty sounded a little bit punch drunk towards the end of Friday. So maybe 16 games in 2 days was starting to get into our brains a little bit. I don't know. But it was definitely fun. And I would never say no to more basketball. Can you imagine a 3-day event if they fit another 8 games into that would be 24 games in 3 days. Nuts. We'll see. That's for sure. What happens next year? I'm sure that schedule comes out or at least a preliminary schedule comes out, during the summer. So they are working. They work hard right after the first one, after the one is done, to start working on the next one, seeing what teams are interested. Obviously, there are some teams that have been there every year that keep coming back. They try to mix around local with unfamiliar teams, and I think Green is going to be a mainstay because they keep having good times and good games in that Holiday Hoops Classic. When you bring a team like that expects high level basketball and they get it, I think they're going to be happy with what they've done. And I want to give a props while we're talking about it to the staff at South Range for working all day and for making it a hospitable place that people want to be at. Obviously, teams wouldn't keep coming back if there wasn't a great place to be. It has to be good basketball, but it also has to be, it has to be hospitable. You have to feel like you're being taken care of. No one's going to drive from Columbus, from Hilliard-Davidson to South Range if they don't feel like they weren't treated well the first time. They were there last year, so they must have felt good about the way they were treated last year to come back this year and be a part of it again. And it's all has to do with the people that were running it from South Range, whether it be Coach Fishel, whether it be all the ticket takers, whether it be Brock Miller, Donnie Farron. They were both there all day. So props to everyone down there at South Range for running a great event and making people want to come back, even if they're all the way from Columbus, wanting to be a part of that tournament. Like we said, a lot of teams wanted to be there that they just had to turn away because there wasn't any more room left. So we'll see what teams they add to the slate next year. If they add games, that'll be fun. Let's go into a player profile section of the show. This is one of the ways that we follow our sponsors' lead. Go the extra mile for you, just like Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown, who is our proud sponsor of Running Point. Here is our player profile with Howland Senior Gia Hoso. Hope you enjoy it. Anthony Hartwig here with a Howland Girls Basketball player profile. I am joined by Gia Hoso. Gia, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
This Howland season off to a fantastic start. Talking to a couple of your players and obviously Coach Pounds before the season already. This is a team that knew they were returning everybody. They had no seniors a year ago. Everyone's coming back. What was the feeling like getting ready for this season, knowing that, you had all the experience in the world?
I mean, so our starting five, we grew up playing together, so we know how each other work, and I think this is a moment we've been waiting for a really long time. So it's just really good to finally be here, even though it's kind of hard to believe, but we have a lot of energy coming into the season. We're really excited to see what we can do.
Last year definitely had its ups and downs, but going through all that, did you kind of understand that, like, everything we go through last year, it was going to be to help prepare you for this?
I mean, yesterday, even Coach Pound said after our win that the difference, but if we would have played that game last year, we would have lost, because that's the difference between juniors and seniors, is knowing how to handle that kind of stress and that kind of pressure in game situations like that. So,
and like you said, you've been playing with these girls for such a long time. What's it like having this bond with these players and to be able to have that one last year with them?
I mean, it's honestly something I don't even know how to put into words, because they really have been my best friends since 4th grade, I think. So it's really nice growing up with them and playing with each other. So it's not only we're friends on the court, but also off the court. So it's a really good feeling to have that support system on and off the court.
Senior season means you have the chance to kind of reflect on your time and get kind of sentimental about Howland and the girls basketball program. What are some of the things that, when senior night comes up and you get really, reminiscent about your career that you're going to remember forever?
Honestly, I can't just pick one. There's a lot of games where I know I'll never forget. We had the AAC championship 2 years ago against Canfield. That was a big one for me. And then we also just have the memories that I made with my team. We do a lot of team bonding. We do, even if it's just getting food after the games, it's just going to be, everything's going to be going through my head during senior night. So I don't know.
Has it hit you yet that it's your senior year and it's kind of your last go around? Has that kind of reality sunk in?
So last year it actually started hitting me a little too hard. I mean, I spent the last week of school, I was losing my mind. I was like, there's no way this is real. But now it's just hard to believe, and I don't know. It's hard for them to be now announcing my name and telling them that I'm a senior, telling the audience. Just doesn't feel real.
You know yourself better than anyone. We talked about senior night and the things you're going to think about. What are you going to go through on senior night? What emotions are you going to go through
Oh, I'm
that
going to be
night?
an emotional train wreck. It is not going to be too good.
You know, you've been through a lot of other people's senior nights, not last year because there were no seniors on the team, but, you know, it's still the last 2 years before that. And one of the things about senior night is all the underclassmen, you know, do something special for the seniors, get them gift bags, decorate the locker room, whatever it may be. I'm trying to help out the underclassmen. Like, what is something that they could get Gia Hoso that would be a very special gift bag? You know, what's going to go into this? Trying to help some people out here.
I don't really need anything. I think a team win on senior night would be nice, but that's about all I'm asking for.
Tried, underclassmen. Tried. You're gonna have to get creative. You can't bag a win, but a win will be really cool. But you can't put it in the gift bag. What about like the snack bag? Let's talk snack bags, right? Because snack bags are a hallmark of road games. What's a good snack bag to Gia Hoso?
Well, I'm more of a junk food type of person, so honestly, put any type of candy in there, any type of chips, and I'm fine. I'm not too picky when it comes to snack bags.
Do you have a favorite candy?
I like my tropical Mike and Ike's.
Oh wait, that's a exotic answer. We haven't had it before. I love it. Well, you said chips. What kind of chip? What's the go-to chips?
Probably not the smartest idea before a game, but I like my salt and vinegar chips. I like my.
You know, whatever works, whatever gets you to play well. I've seen girls that eat burritos before games, so whatever gets you going, right?
Yeah,
Let's talk about, you know, on the court, things you worked on this year that you really wanted to improve on, things that you think that you've really kind of mastered this senior season.
I think as I was younger, I kind of depended on my points a little bit, and I think that as I got older, I started to realize that it's not just about how many points I have. It's about how I get my team involved and how I make my team look, because as a point guard, that's my job. I make the team look good. So that's kind of what I've been working on this year. And also my one-handed passes. I'm trying to master those and not do those as much, but baby steps.
You know, you gotta walk before you can run sometimes, right?
Yeah.
When we talk to seniors, usually we ask them about the seniors that were, you know, there in their junior year that taught them how to be a leader. But you were kind of the de facto senior last year as well as the upperclassman on the team. What's it been like to kind of have that leadership role for 2 years now with you and your fellow seniors?
It's really important to me because as our freshman and sophomore year, we obviously had those type of role models and we looked up to them. So knowing that it's now my turn for the underclassmen to look up to me, it's special to me, and it feels good to know that there's people that look up to me.
How do you think your leadership has grown from last year where you had to be a leader to this year now you have to do it again as a senior?
I think a big part is when we get under stress, we just kind of break down. And I think being the person that lifts everybody up makes them feel good, but also me, because you can see how it affects them just bringing them up when they get down on themselves.
Let's talk about freshman and sophomore year. Who were some of those seniors? You had so many of them. Who were some of those people that really gave you the framework of what it meant to be a leader?
We had Kylie McLean, my freshman and sophomore year. I really looked up to her. She was a point guard. There's Maddie Mency as well. She was a senior my freshman year. And honestly, just seeing how they saw the court, how they worked with their friends off and on the court, it meant a lot to have those people to look up to. And I think that's kind of how I became the person I am today on and off the court because of
we ask how those seniors impacted you next year when we bring players on, and we ask how Gia Hosso, impacted them as a teammate and what she taught them how to be a leader. What do you hope their answer to be? What would you hope you're leaving on this team?
I think that, I mean, there's been times where like the underclassmen, they're new to the program, they're new to high school basketball, so it gets frustrating. And I think that when they think of me, they know that I was there for them and I knew how to handle their situation and how to get them out of it and be more positive about situations. So honestly, I hope that's what they take from everything I've tried teaching them and telling them about.
You're a role model. There's no way to get around it. Like you said earlier, these girls are looking up to you. There are girls that are younger than high school that are looking at you and these seniors and saying that they want to be where you are at. They want to be in your shoes when they grow up. What's that like to be a role model?
Well, when I was younger, I felt it. So it's just weird knowing that there's younger girls that are feeling it too. And I know how special it was to me growing up with that feeling and watching even my old JV coach, Sarah Price. I grew up watching her and I looked up to her because she was a really good basketball player. So knowing that there's girls younger in high school that are feeling the same way about me, it feels really good and it's really special to me.
Was there a moment in your career where like the fact that you're a role model really hit you in the face? Like maybe a girl came up and asked you for advice. Maybe it was something like that where it was like, wow, people are looking at me now all of a sudden.
Probably freshman Mia Thomas. Me and her, we're like the same person. So, I mean, I help her when she gets down on herself. I help her when, I'm her biggest fan. I'm there to support her no matter how she performs. And I think like she really looks up to me for doing that to her. Like I've called her and we've talked and like I get her through like those mind blocks. And sometimes I wish I had that when I was growing up. So I think her realizing that she has me, it feels special to both of us.
Brought up Coach Pounds a little bit ago. What's it been like to be under him now in his third year at Howland? You've been under him for that amount of time. What's it like to be coached by Coach Pounds?
Our relationship, it gets stronger every year. So like we're his first 4-year group that he's ever coached as a head coach. So it's a special group for him, and he's definitely he's my favorite coach. So I mean, it means a lot that he's pushing us each day to get harder. He makes us work in practice. Everything he does for us to better the team. So he definitely has the right intentions for us. So definitely means a lot.
We only get to see him on the sidelines. It's the only time we get to see him. So you get to see him a lot more than we do. What is something about Coach Pounds that maybe the general public doesn't know that you think they should?
Definitely don't let his screaming intimidate you, because he definitely has the humor off the court. So I think that's why it's kind of hard sometimes for all of us to take him serious, but we're trying.
First impressions, like what were your first impressions of Coach Pounds when you first kind of got, was it intimidating when he was screaming when you first met him?
Well, actually the first time I met him, I hit him. It was the first practice, and I hit him in the face with the ball unintentionally, and I was like, oh my God, this cannot go any worse. It was my freshman year. I was so scared. And then the next day he's talking in a Donald Duck voice. I'm like, all right, never mind. I'm not too scared anymore. So it was definitely a moment of relief.
You hit the coach in the face first day. It's a bold choice. Let's talk about, the one part of the game that you think that Coach Pounds has helped you the most in. If you had to pinpoint one part of your basketball game that you attribute the most to him, what would it be?
Probably being more confident in everything I do. Like I get down on myself, he's the first person to pick me up. I miss a shot, he's the first person to tell me it was a good shot. So I think him being my biggest cheerleader and also only wanting what's best for me it helps a lot when my confidence level when I'm playing.
Even though we in the Howland community will hate to see you go, it's the reality. You have to graduate, which means we have to talk about your future, things that you want to do after you graduate high school. What's the future look like for you?
So as of now, I think I'm gonna go to Ohio University to study nursing.
What drew you to that career path that you wanted to be a nurse?
Well, I know that I want to help people, and I know that I've always been interested in the medical field. I mean, when I was younger, every little girl's dream was to be a marine biologist. I thought about that for a while, but now I'm just nursing and want to do my best to help people.
Now here's the big one. What drew you to Ohio University in Athens? I mean, so many schools to choose from, so many great nursing programs. What made, Ohio a place that you wanted to go?
So it was actually between West Virginia University and Ohio University, and I toured. It wasn't too overwhelming. Like I want to go to a big school, but I didn't want too big. And West Virginia was a little overwhelming. I can't lie.
Ohio is one of those schools where it's far enough that you're leaving the nest, but it's also not so far that you're so far away from home that you can't get home in a minute, if you need to. Was that a part of the decision too? Did you want to be like in that little middle ground where you're far enough where you feel like you're on your own, but you're also not like across the country?
I mean, I'm a little scared about the distance. I'm not gonna lie. I still depend on my mom to make me dinner and do my hair, so it's gonna be a change. So we'll see how it goes.
What's the one life skill you're gonna have to learn before you go to college? Like you don't know how to do it yet, you're gonna have to learn it.
Only one.
You can go to multiple.
Let's start with the laundry, my hair, makeup. It's just not looking too good. Hopefully my roommate knows how to do all that for me.
What's you brought up cook too. What's the one meal that you have to have your mom teach you how to cook before you go to college?
I think honestly, as long as she teaches me how to make butter noodles, I'm fine.
That is the classic, that's a college roommate dinner right there. Ramen noodles, butter noodles, whatever it may be.
Oh yeah.
Cheap. It's all good. What makes you the most nervous about the whole college thing? Like, what are some things that you're feeling anxious about?
Honestly, I just feel like my humor. I feel like I have a little more maturing to do, but I'm excited.
Now let's flip that because we don't want to bring up all your anxieties without also bringing up the things that you're really excited about. Like what gets you really stoked about this next chapter of life?
Honestly, I think new beginnings, meeting new people. It's just a fresh start for everything. So I think change is sometimes good. So I'm excited to just see where everything takes me and see how everything plans out.
All right, Tia, before we let you go, we give every player the chance to shine a light on their support system, the people that have been there for them their entire lives. I want to give you the chance to do that. Take as much time as you want. Give shout outs to whoever you think deserves it.
I just want to say thank you to my parents. They've been supporting me since elementary school. They supported me in everything I do. And honestly, having a support system like that and them making me not only the player I am today, but also the person I am today, it means a lot to me that I have that. And also I have my brother. So having him support me and coming out to my games and cheering with his friends, that also means a lot. And it honestly sometimes dictates the difference between a win. So having that student section means a lot.
Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the senior season, and we can't wait to talk to you real soon.
Thank you again for having me.
Gia Hoso from Howland, and the Tigers, man, they're off to a great start on the girls basketball side of things. And this AAC getting really interesting as every team looks really good right now. I know Warren Harding, not a YSN team, but they have looked good. You have Howland, who has one loss. It was to Hoban on the road by 7 points, and they just beat a team that beat Hoban in Louisville over the weekend. You see what Fitch is doing. They're healthy. They have Folkwine back. Their offense is good, but their defense is even better. Boardman has great defense with a couple of players that can really hurt you in different ways on offense. Mackenzie Riccatelli can do so much, and she's so talked about, but Sarah Barrow does a really great job for Boardman with her physicality, and they have a couple of shooters. It's just Boardman looks really good, and I love the defense that Boardman plays. And then obviously you Canfield, the team that went to regional finals last year. They have the experience. They have the winning mentality. They have Coach Reel, who's been there, done that, the most tenured coach, I believe, in that conference. So the culture is there in Canfield. All five of those teams are looking really good right now. So this AAC starting up in the middle of the season. Here we go. First week of AAC play. We have Canfield versus Boardman tomorrow. Can't wait for that. DJ's going to be on the call in Canfield tomorrow. And that's going to be a really fun matchup between those two schools. Canfield obviously knowing how to win, make game-winning plays on the stretch if it's close. They've proven that against two good teams in Marlington and West Branch. Both of them coming in the EBC. I just realized that too. That's an interesting tidbit there. Let's go into the schedule for tonight. We're talking about tomorrow's games. Let's not skip over tonight's schedule. Like I said, a little bit of a light schedule on YSN's level because a lot of teams are still trying to give their kids a little bit of a break before New Year's. So not a full slate of games today, but don't worry. We still have plenty of basketball, plenty of good matchups. Let's go into the slate of games. We have 12 boys games going on tonight. Boardman at Canfield to start AAC play on the boys side. We have Liberty traveling to Niles, Lowville going to Valley Christian. A lot of non-league games despite AAC starting. We have Middle Ridge going to Columbiana. We have Newton Falls going to Heartland Christian. The Lions looking really, really good right now. Wellsville hosting Oak Glen. You have Ravenna going to Garrettsville Garfield. Southern Local going to Edison. Central Valley going to Beaver. We just saw Central Valley beat Mohawk on Friday in a close one. What can they do against the Bobcats? That'll be a boys-girls doubleheader too, because the girls are playing at home against Cannon McMillan as well. West Branch going to Akron Garfield tonight on the boys' side. Beaver Local going to Indian Creek. Champion is going to Bristol. That'll be a boys-girls doubleheader between Champion and Bristol as well. We know how good the boys' side of Bristol basketball is, so that'll be a tough test for Champion, a good measuring stick for that boys' team. Girls' side, LeBray hosting Wyndham. We have, like we said, Beaver in action with their boys' team against Cannon McMillan. And like we said earlier, Champion girls also in action tonight as they travel to Bristol for that boys-girls doubleheader. Girls will be at 5:30 for that one. Boys will be after. We're seeing more and more of that. I like these boys-girls doubleheaders, and I like if you have two of them. This is a good idea for me. And I was talking about it with Coach Reel from Canfield during their boys-girls doubleheader. Their second boys-girls doubleheader, actually, but the one they hosted, the one that they have control over. I said, man, if you do this again, you should just like invert it and do boys first, girls second, because you never know. If some of those boys crowd, they came a little bit late and they just skipped right over the girls game. But if you make them go to the boys game, maybe they don't leave late early for the girls game. Who knows? But that's all just trying to get more and more people in the gym for both boys and girls basketball. So. Canfield has done it really well. They have two of them on their schedule so far, with West Branch doing it over the weekend, and then obviously they did it with Marlington a couple of weeks ago. So I love the boys-girls doubleheaders. I love seeing the big crowds for both and being able to shine a light on both, and you're kind of forced to give the girls all the bells and whistles when the boys are right after. So that's always fun to see too. West Branch did it really well. Canfield's done it really well against Marlington a couple weeks ago. So that is the schedule for tonight. Let's get into your announcers. Who's going to be where? What games can be found on the network? That's what's here for you. As we go on the spreadsheet, I think almost every game, just one game tonight going uncovered in the YSN family. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 games on 10 games. The scoreboard has some schools that are going to non-YSN teams that we don't follow, teams to non-YSN schools, but a bunch of games on the network tonight. Boardman at Canfield, Boys basketball, I will be in attendance for that one. Ian O'Brien is going to be at Niles as Liberty comes to town. Michael Janaki going to Valley Christian for Lowville at Valley Christian. Joe Eusebio will be in Columbiana as Middle Ridge comes to town. Larry Scragg will be in Heartland for them against Newton Falls. Gary Altizer doing the Wellsville game. Garfield will be handled by their student broadcast network. Noah Doty going to Beaver area for their boys against Central Valley. He'll also be there for the girls with CJ Schroeds. That'll be at 6. So girls start at 6. Boys start after for that. And then Matt Marr and Jordan Barber are going to be in La Brea for the girls basketball game against Wyndham. So everything covered tonight, and it's going to be a fun one for you on the network. ysnlive.com/live is where you can find it. Once again, thank you to everybody that has ever tuned in or watched the game on YSN in 2023. We had over 12 million views, and obviously that doesn't happen without you guys. So I want to take the time before the end of the show to thank all of you. It is your sports network for a reason, because it belongs to you guys. And obviously 12 million of you decided to take a look at what we're doing, and we hope that even more of you come back for 2024. So check out the games tonight, ysnlive.com/live. We'll be back tomorrow. Wrestling Wednesday with Gary Altizer and Scotty Mincher in the house tomorrow as well. Going to be a fun running point like it is every Wednesday. 1 to